Hi, everyone. My name is Lydia Martinez, and I am the founder and owner of L Marketing Events and Restaurant Owners Marketing Academy. And today I really wanted to talk to you about content creation tools. So we churn out a ton of content. Everything from social media posts. Like last year, I think we did something like over 7,000 social media posts over the course of the year. We churn out a ton of blog posts. I mean, literally dozens every month. We put out a ton of email content. We write copy for websites. And so with all of this, kind of start to finish managing this influx of copy back and forth, one of the things that is really important is to have really good tools for coming up with ideas for content, because that's always a struggle. So coming up with ideas, coming up with things like titles and headers and keywords, coming up with content that is engaging, sparks curiosity, sparks energy and interest. And then also coming up with tools to push it through an editorial process so that you know that you're publishing really high quality content with a minimal need for editorial and pushing it out so that it's correct. So first of all, let's start with coming up with ideas. For me and for my business, we actually know what our weekly themes for social media and what our overarching themes for every single month will be for about 12 months out. We try and plan really far ahead. So, for example, I knew clear back last October that I would be talking about content creation tools this week. And so we've got blog posts around it. We've got social media posts around it. We've got our live stream today planned around content creation tools. The way that we came up with that, though, I had a brainstorming session with my team, but then on top of that, we also looked at what marketing topics people are most interested in and need to know the most about. And then from there, we took that specific topic based on our research to implement this week. So it wasn't us just pulling things out of thin air. It was actually us picking something that was strategic and makes sense for our specific audience that's looking for marketing support. Some of the tools that I love for getting ideas, a lot of times I'll start with a keyword researcher, like the keyword tool in Google AdWords is phenomenal. It literally tells you what people are searching for, what topics, what keywords, what people are interested in. Then from there, what I'll do is I'll take those keywords and I'll plug them into an SEO or search engine management tool like Moz, for example, Moz.com. Moz.com is a paid tool, but it has a free version where you can do up to 10 searches a month. So it's really, really robust. You can pop in a keyword and it'll give you examples of a bunch of different articles. It'll give you additional keywords that are kind of parallel. It will be a really, really good tool for managing and monitoring what's going on and what's being said. The other thing that you can do is just flat out Google it and see what's out there. I will caution you, do not plagiarize, do not copy, do not pull bullet points from another blog post. Don't be that person. Another tool that we have just implemented within the past several months is a tool called Phrase. Phrase is really, really fantastic for actually creating strategic AI blog post outlines based on topics. So it'll go out there, the AI tool will scan and it will actually pull things in and help create outlines, site outlines, outlines for content, things like that. those outlines are really, really useful because it gives you a solid starting point, and you can expand them, you can contract them, you can flesh things out, but sometimes it helps you get over that little bit of writer's block that we all have when it comes to creating content. And phrase works really well for long form content, blog posts, e-blasts, things like that. The other side of content for phrase, or the other tool we use in conjunction with phrase, is a new tool that's also an AI tool. It's called Conversion AI, and the AI tool has a name. He's named Jarvis. Jarvis does a really fantastic job of helping you write different types of content, from, Facebook ad headlines to Facebook ad copy to long form blog posts to additional information around, convincing people or telling a story or coming up with great questions. One that I noticed that they just added this past month was one for real estate posts. That I was real estate listing posts that I was really, really excited about. And so figuring out what those look like and how we can actually, it'll spit out 2 to 3 options when you plug in some inputs, an outline, a keyword, a headline, or a title. It'll spit out those outputs, and it can be 3 outputs, it can be 5 outputs, and then you can kind of take the things that work and use them as a starting point, rewrite the things that don't, but it helps you with really, really dynamic copy to kind of get the juices flowing. It's a fantastic tool, relatively affordable, and really, really solid. The other thing that we always use for all of our blog posts is, or all of our copy period, is Grammarly. Grammarly is a spelling tool that, but more than that, it checks spelling, it checks grammar, it checks tone, it checks voice. It also has a plagiarism checker, which is really, really important. That plagiarism checker goes through and makes sure that you weren't unintentionally inspired by somebody else's copy or content. There's another tool that's even more robust called Copyscape. So if you're really concerned about copyright, or you're writing in a highly technical industry or something like that, Copyscape will do an even more robust job. But basically, Grammar crawls the web, makes sure that you're not getting yourself into trouble by using anything that's kind of word for word somebody else's writing. That's not how we operate. It's not what we do. So any piece of content that we do, we have kind of 4 stages of an editorial process for content creation. Yes, we've used AI, we've used a lot of strategy to get there. We use, we've got some great copywriters, but basically the first strategy is for the very first piece of copy, the blog post, the social media post, the e-blast, the website. The writer writes the content and then runs it through Grammarly themselves. The second stage of the editorial process is they send it to one of the editors on our team. That editor also checks it in Grammarly, but checks it for tone, style, voice, does it match the brand voice, things like that. And then we'll send it to the client to review and give us feedback. So we'll actually have the client go through, review, give us feedback, let us know what's working, what's not. Let us know if there's anything else that we should change or edit. If something's inaccurate, that's the opportunity. And then when the client sends it back and says, this is, make these changes, then it's good. If there's minor changes, we'll just fix them. If there's major changes and we need to do a rewrite, we'll send it back to that client again. But the last step is once the client has sent it back with any edits or changes, we actually turn around and run that through Grammarly just one last time. One of the big reasons we found is a lot of times spelling errors and things like that that were making their way through actually came from the client's edits. And so for them, it was really, really useful to just do one final check before publication. And so those are a lot of our content creation tools, things that we use as far as copywriting. There are some other tools that we love as far as visual design. So if you're creating content that is, social media posts with graphics or images, or any type of visual design, things like that, those things we will actually use a couple of different tools for that. There's great design tools out there where you don't have to be a graphic designer. Canva is one that we use on a semi-regular basis. And then on top of that, we also really like, I really like the Adobe suite. Adobe Spark is one of their easier to use ones. So that's a great one for creating graphic design. And then if you need great free photography, Unsplash is another really good one that I just love. They have great photos that you can use without a special license. So my very final warning to you is this: if you're creating content or using images, do not pull them, do not Google an image and then pull it from the web and use that image. That image is copyrighted. That meme could be copyrighted. All those things, you shouldn't just be pulling them and using them. Actually create content that is yours and that you do have permission to use. So those are all my content creation tools and some of my favorite content creation tips, things that we use every day within the agency. And again, if you need help with your content, this is where we really shine. Start to finish, from websites, blog posts, social media posts, e-blasts. We really excel at creating content and putting it out there into the world for you. Thanks again for tuning in. One more time, my name is Lydia. I'm the owner of L Marketing and Events and Restaurant Owners Marketing Academy, and look forward to hearing from you.